Hello folks, it is Sunday. Normally I try to take Sundays off, but I have a lot to do, so I'm here in the studio and I thought I would have a little chat with you because I've had some thoughts about how I'm going to run this YouTube channel going forward. The thought is to do a series of weekly vlogs, which is what you're watching now, which will be basically a big squishy bundle of all the things that I do on my channel generally, but in one thing. So having a little less structure in terms of having, you know, wrap-up videos and design videos and keeping them separate. Instead, having them all in one magical thing and having a bit of me talking to you about the day-to-day running of the business and showing you some cool stuff, as well as sharing the books I've been reading, because I know that's what this channel was to begin with and I'd like it to stay that way because, I mean, books are at the core of everything I do. So that is sort of the plan for the YouTube channel. The other thing I've thought about, and the other thing is that I have read your comments from the previous video and oh my goodness, I just got completely overwhelmed, so I haven't actually responded to any of them and I feel really bad about that. But yeah, I was just overwhelmed with how many of you, came and commented and said please don't leave, or you know, that you enjoy my channel and the kind of content that you like. And it did seem to be a real mix of the design stuff and the book stuff, which is why I've come to this conclusion. The other thing is that I am considering setting up a Patreon, and this is something I have been thinking about for a little while now, and I've been hesitant to do it because, for one thing, it's a lot of work, and I know that I would want it to be really great value for you guys if you did want to support me on Patreon. So thinking up great rewards for each of the different tiers, and you know, I'd want to be able to dedicate the time to it every week. So I have a few ideas, one being a little podcast where I actually do basically a wrap-up, probably unedited, just going through what I have read. That would either be, I don't know, fortnightly or maybe monthly, we would see. Other ideas would be some digital downloads like desktop backgrounds with my designs on, and also maybe doing a physical bundle, like a goodie bag, every month or couple of months. I'd have to figure out the exact nature of that, but if those are things that you'd be interested in for the different tiers, do let me know, or if you have any other ideas. That is what has been going on and the sort of plan with the channel, and we'll see how it goes. Please leave me feedback what you think about this format, and yeah, we'll go from there and change and learn as we go. Alright, so now I'm gonna get on with some work. I've got a whole lot of envelopes to address for some pre-orders for a pin that I'm working on. I'll probably talk about later in the week with you. What I've been working on just now is sorting out the pre-orders for these pins, which are enamel pins with the words "They Are Us" on them, and they are in aid of the Christchurch Shooting Victims Fund, the terrorist attack that happened on the 15th of March in Christchurch, which is about 6 hours drive from where I live. So all the profits from these are going to that fund, and I've had a few pre-orders, so I'm just getting those envelopes ready to go so that when the pins arrive, which hopefully will be this week, I can just send them out immediately. But I will leave the link down below for the information about the pins. I'm probably going to leave them as a sort of limited edition because the paperwork for this kind of stuff is a little bit complicated as an ongoing thing, but I'm hoping we can raise about $1,000 at least to go towards the Victims Fund. And yeah, we've started towards that, so that's got to be good. Hello friends, it's now Monday and I have just been for a swim. It's 8 o'clock, but I was at the pool at about just after 6:30, so feeling quite pleased with myself. And now I've got a cup of tea and I'm going to have to dash very shortly because Lyra is going to doggy daycare today and I am popping into the office to work on some of my client work. Yeah, I probably won't share a lot of what's going on today. I might check in a bit later, but I don't think it's going to be very exciting to watch because it's marketing stuff. But anyway, I'm just watching Jen Campbell on my iPad and drinking my cup of tea, and then I will be rushing out the door. See you later.
It's about a man called Richard who is running away from his life. He's run up to Scotland, he's left his phone in London, he's just lost a dear friend, and he's also talking about filmmaking, Catherine Mansfield and Wilka. There we go.
Hi folks, it is now Tuesday morning, it's about 10:30 and I've been out for a walk with Lyra and had a client meeting over Skype this morning with an author who I have worked with already and I'm going to do some further work with, and she's just lovely and I cannot wait to show you these designs because I'm really proud of what's come out of it. So yes, that hopefully will be coming up before too long. And yeah, this morning I have got to prep for a talk I'm doing tomorrow for a local writers group. It's going to be all about self-publishing a children's book, which I have done, and I've also sort of seen a lot of authors do this and seen the common pitfalls and you know, the mistakes that people make in the writing of a picture book, in working with illustrators, and then in the marketing and you know, beyond production side of things. So yeah, that will be quite an interesting talk, and I've just got to basically write an outline of what I'm going to say, so that it has some kind of structure to it. I think the whole thing is going to be quite chilled out and laid back, but it would be nice to know exactly what I'm gonna say and know that I've covered all the points I want to. While I'm here, I'm also going to show you this photo that was sent through to me by my pin manufacturer this morning, and it is the They Are Us fundraising pin that I was talking about on Sunday. It's not the best of pictures, but it gives you a basic idea of what it will look like in this shiny silver plating. And the backings look like this, which is the new type of backing I am going with these pins, because normal pins, the normal rubber backing for pins, so you know, standard pin backing, that's mostly what you see on bookish pins and things, but that is too thick to fit in an envelope, and it was going to cost me $15 per pin to send to anywhere outside of New Zealand. The solution is to go with this new safety backing, which is a lot flatter, fits in an envelope, means that I can provide free international shipping. Hopefully they will arrive soon. They are on their way, and at the latest it'll be early next week. So cute. You are. Can we focus on that? Yeah. No, this is not for eating. Oh, you're still such a puppy. Hello. So I've written my notes, my plan for this talk tomorrow, which is, basically going through the process I went through to make Moth, and then talking a bit about the evaluation of what I did with Moth and what I would do differently, as well as a whole bunch of notes for children's book authors, and you know, things to consider like the length and the text to image ratio, and things like finding an illustrator, how you go about doing that, what you should expect. And the other thing I've been doing is writing out questions for an interview I'm doing with Mark Campbell, who is an art director for HarperCollins Australia and New Zealand. So the focus of this podcast interview, which is for Spine magazine, is looking at the whole art direction process. So from getting the manuscript from an author or from an editor through to the finished book, and what that looks like for an art director and designer. So making a brief, finding a designer or an illustrator, whether to do it in-house, and then what the design process looks like. When I started out in book design and working with art directors, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I had a rough idea, but there's very little information out there on how to work with an art director, and basically no information on how to work with an art director as a book designer. You know, you can listen to other people's processes and how other people have done it in the past, but actually to break it down step by step, I think will be really helpful, because this is what I wish existed when I started out. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can get on to doing some drawing this afternoon, because computer work, the reason I'm wearing these is because I get RSI in my hands from doing too much computer work, so this forces me to have a good kind of posture with my wrists and keep them nice and straight. But I don't have that same issue with drawing, especially on the iPad, because I'm not having to apply so much pressure. Hi folks, it's now Wednesday morning, about 11 o'clock, and I'm off to do this talk really soon. I've just been doing a few emails and Instagram admin this morning. Not very much, it's been fairly cruisy, although I did go for a swim again this morning. This is very good. The reason for the swimming is because I've been having some issues with my back, which is to do with sort of tension in my shoulders, which is putting my spine out of whack a bit. And obviously I don't want that to be an ongoing thing, so strengthening my back and doing some swimming is good. So I'm off very shortly to this talk. I don't know if I'll be able to get any footage there. I'm not sure if it's a sort of me standing up in front of a whole lot of people and talking at them, or whether it's more of a sit-down discussion kind of thing. I think it's the latter, in which case it might be a bit awkward to film. But yeah, I will let you know how it goes. Hi folks, it's now about 8:30 and the talk has happened and it went surprisingly well. I shouldn't say surprisingly, but I was surprised because there were more people there than I anticipated. I was sort of expecting a sit down around a table kind of thing, and that's what it was to begin with, and then more and more people arrived. So by the time it came to my actual talk, I had to stand up, which gave it quite a different tone rather than just being a casual chatty thing where you feel like you're conversing with the people there. It's more of a, I'm going to stand up and this is my talk sort of thing. So yeah, that was unexpected, but I think it was really good, and the people there seemed to really like the content, and they asked intelligent questions at the end, which I'm assuming meant that they were listening. I've got Lyra here, she's been at daycare. I need you to say hello to the camera because, I mean, you're here for her really, aren't you? Come on, up. You go, there we go. Yeah, can you say hello to the camera? Look, up here. No? You're just gonna do your thing? Hi, I know. Look at this beautiful face. Yes. This afternoon was not especially exciting for filming, so I didn't and I couldn't film at the event itself, so my apologies for that, but it would have been a bit awkward. Apart from that, I got a very little bit of drawing done at lunchtime, but really it has been a while since I've done a proper drawing session, so fingers crossed for tomorrow. Apart from that, at the moment I am reading Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James, which is an epic fantasy from the Booker Prize winning author who wrote A History of Seven Killings. I am struggling with this, to be honest. I wish that I had such high hopes for this, because fantasy traditionally, sort of traditionally published fantasy has been very white, and in recent years that has changed a lot more. There's been a lot more diversity within fantasy publishing, which is super exciting, and I was really excited about this book because it's by a literary author, and I love it when kind of literary authors go into genres, especially if it's fantasy, because that's my genre of choice. But yeah, I'm just finding this a little bit slow going, just because it's an incredibly long book. The audiobook I think is about 25 hours, and yes, there's a lot of it, and I feel like a lot of it is repeating similar kinds of scenes, which gets a little bit monotonous. I mean, on the whole, I'm finding the characters quite interesting, and the way it's told, it's very clever. So I can appreciate the cleverness, but also when I'm reading fantasy, I expect to be entertained, not to feel like I'm being bogged down in the details. So that's sort of how I'm feeling about it at the moment. I've got probably about 4 hours left to listen to. I think I would do a sort of mid-year wrap up, or maybe even a quarterly wrap up, because we've had the first 3 months of this year, and I've read some fantastic books so far, and I don't think I've really spoken about them outside of Instagram. So that might be quite a good thing to do. Oh puppy, you're so cute. Oh yes, look so cute. Yeah. Who knows, maybe I'll finish this book by the end of the week, and I can give you my overall thoughts when I do a mini review, but yeah, I don't think it's really going to be much more than what I've just said. It's Thursday and this arrived. I think it will be the fundraising pins, so I'm going to open it up and see and show you if it is. So as you can see, they have got that silver plating and it's hard enamel, and I think these have come out really beautifully, and then it's just got the safety backing on the back there, and the pin comes out like that, so a lot less that can get damaged there. If anything, it'll get a little bit bent out of shape, but you can bend it back into shape quite easily. So yeah, that's the pin. So I need to start sending some of these out today. I'm recording a podcast very shortly with Mark Campbell, which I mentioned yesterday. So I've got my microphone out, ready to go. And yeah, that will not be very exciting to film, but I'll see you after that. So the podcast went well. I always find these so exhausting because, you know, not only are you having to keep on the ball and make sure that you know what questions you're going to say next, but also you've got to really listen to the person who you're talking to, which if you're doing that for an hour and are also aware of the fact that you're being recorded, it's quite full on. I really enjoy doing these, and I love chatting to other book designers, art directors, all of that. It's fantastic. But yeah, it does take it out of you, and you know, there's a little bit of heightened adrenaline because you're aware of the fact that you're being recorded, and there is a certain amount of editing that you can do, but also you don't want to seem like an idiot in front of an art director or another designer, especially one who you really admire. So yeah, it does make me quite nervous, but it's been fantastic for learning more about the industry as a whole, getting different people's perspectives. It's just been fantastic. So I'm so grateful to be able to do this for Spine magazine. And that came about actually because of this YouTube channel. So that's another reason I don't want to stop doing it altogether, because it has brought so many fantastic opportunities. Right, so now I am working on packaging up some of these orders, and I've got the pins now. And I was thinking about this, and I had planned to make a backing card, and I wasn't expecting the pins to arrive today, so I was thinking of doing that tomorrow. But actually, now I'm thinking about it, that's only going to cut into the profit margin, and all the profits for this are going to the cause. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go straight ahead and just package them up as is. I've cut out lots of little bits of bubble wrap, and in terms of bubble wrap, I only use bubble wrap that I have received, so I save lots of packaging stuff that comes in stuff that I order so that I can reuse it because the environment. And obviously these do come in little plastic sleeves, but there's not a great deal I can do about that, and also they need to be sent without being damaged. So for one person who has ordered 6 pins, which is amazing, I'm probably going to have to put 3 in one envelope and 3 in another, and kind of sandwich them between a bit of card. So it's not going to be the prettiest of packaging, but I actually think that for this, you know, I'm putting in a little handwritten note in each one, and so it's going to have a personal feel to it. And anything else that I do on top of that is just going to be, yeah, it's going to be taking it out of the funds that go to the victims fund. So I think that's the best way to do it. When I do my proper pins, I will have backing cards. But yeah, for this, people have bought them because the money goes to the cause. So I think that's the best way to do it. I was debating about how to do the actual funding of it, and whether I should, you know, basically pay myself back for buying all of these to start with, and then put all the profits in after that, or whether I should do it per pin. And I've actually decided to do it per pin, which might be a risky way of doing it, but I want as much of the money from this to go to the cause as possible. So I'm probably shooting myself in the foot, and I will probably have to go into town and try to sell them to random people just so that I can make my money back. But you know, I would prefer that I was out of pocket a little bit and plenty of money went to the cause rather than the other way around. So yeah, this is why I'm not an accountant, people. Oh dear. But I just feel better about that personally. And you know, it's a personal thing as well as being a business thing. So yeah, I'm willing to take a hit for it. You can see there are quite a few here, and I've sold about a fifth of them so far with pre-orders. I'm hoping I can get some more following on from that. And some I'm going to send to people. I'm going to send one to the Prime Minister because she's my favourite person, and also it's her quote on the pin. Yeah, anyway, that's what I'm going to do now. Address some more envelopes and hopefully get them off in the post today, because, well actually, I've got 45 minutes in which to do all of this and get to the post office. We'll see, I might get some of them out, but I'll stop talking to you now and see you later. Hi folks, it is Friday afternoon and this morning I had an appointment with a hand therapist to look at these issues I've been having, sort of weird tingling and numbness and aching in my fingers, usually after working on a keyboard too much. So I've got some pointers from that. Just been doing some jobs, writing some contracts and proposals and boring stuff like that, but you know, it gets me paid. So, but for some exciting stuff. The proposals themselves are kind of boring to write, but the potential and actual projects I'm going to be working on are pretty cool. So yeah, I know, I love you too, Lara. Yeah, look at that face. Stop it. Yeah, so there was that, and went to town and got some, posted some orders. So the first batch of the They Are Us pins are out into the world, so I need to mark them as dispatched on my site and upload some of the new photography onto my site, and yeah, maybe actually get onto that drawing that I've been talking about all week and have done about 5 minutes on of the actual drawing, because there was a lot of planning involved. Yeah, so that's the plan for now. I think I'm going to sign off this vlog here because unless I have some drawing to add, that's pretty much going to be my week. So yeah, I will see you next week. I think I'm going to try and do another one of these next week, and hopefully I have some more exciting artsy things to share. Yeah, I will see you then. Bye.